player.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking, but I want to get better. And at the moment, I'm 5.1k. And I have 3 positions I like to play. Mostly of them is support, position 5. And sometimes also offlane. I like to play Darkseer and Abaddon.
Okay.
And yeah, sometimes when I'm the highest MMR, I always play carry, because I don't want to support 4.5 or 4.7k players.
Yeah, that's understandable. There's a pretty big difference.
And then I go for carry sometimes.
Right.
And for the coaching sessions, I've written down before like 8 big questions for me.
Okay, perfect.
And then I have 3 replays where I think we should just watch the first 15 minutes, because I also have a lot of questions about just the 3 special cases.
Okay, perfect. That makes my life so easy, actually. Yeah, so we can do that in any order.
Okay, so I would like to start first with the questions.
Sure.
I've watched a couple of explanations. Does it work? Does this word make sense?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
From Fluff and Stuff. And he said that as a position 5, if you want to support your mid and your carry, you should always buy 2 sets of tangos, give 2 to the mid, buy the courier and 1 set of sentries, and say to your position 4, could you please buy the 2 observer wards? And yeah, I tried it out a lot, and for me it worked really good.
Yeah.
But I'm just not sure about when I should buy sentries first and when I should not.
Okay. Well...
and maybe you can just give me some advices for that case.
Yeah, sure. So this is actually something that I really like. I got this idea from Fluff as well. If you look at some of my support coaching sessions, I actually say the same thing. I don't credit Fluff, but it's definitely a good idea. I think there aren't many cases where it's bad to have sentries at the start. Yeah. I think the biggest ones are when you're playing against a pesky offlaner that you have to really zone hard, like a Darkseer, where a lane ward is very helpful. Or if mid is going to be ganked a lot, like if the other team has bounty plus Bane or something like that. I think then having an observer ward in mid is fine. But in most games, people will be happy to buy wards, or at least maybe not most games, but 60 to 50% of the games you'll have a 4 position who will be happy to buy the wards at the start if you buy sentries and the courier and stuff.
Yeah. Mostly of the games I have good experiences with that. But sometimes I feel like my sentry is not really needed. Like when I pick a Dazzle, and I know we don't have any kill potential, like I have a Morph and my Dazzle or some very shit carry for the beginning. And then I feel like, okay, it doesn't matter if he has the Observer Ward or if not. Assumed that I don't have any gankers in my team, like Bounty Hunter or I don't know, Spirit Breaker, whatever, who maybe where they benefit from the Observer Ward. But you would say in almost every case I should buy 2 sentries first?
Yeah.
To make sure that I can also deward the spots, the camps immediately?
Yeah. The dewarding camp, the last part you just said, was extremely important. Because that's how you get levels, right? Especially on a hero like Dazzle. You can't just sit in lane and take your carry's experience. You know that. Sure. So really just having the insurance of being able to deward the camp is what is important. It's great if you can get the observer ward where it's not blocking the camp. That's fantastic. But really the reason is to deward the pull, because that's where you get your levels, and levels are important in Dota. A good thing to have.
I don't have any problems to find them. I know every spawn box and so on, even from the ancients and so on. But it's just sometimes it's just weird, because I think I didn't need it really, but okay, I will keep doing it. And what do you think about the 2 sets of tangos? It's also good just for zoning and supporting mid.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, I usually only buy 1. I'm pretty greedy and I like to save my money or get clarities or fairy fires or something. Yeah. I also tend to just buy everything when I play support. I'll buy courier, observer wards, and sentries. But the 2 sets of tangos is really good if you are solo supporting in a pub, because you're more likely to just trade with another support, or the roaming bounty hunter or Bane, something like that, where a hero's just going to hit you and you kind of have to trade with him, or you concede some lane pressure. So 2 tangos is totally fine.
But if they have a really weak offlaner like
Earthshaker.
Yeah, like Earthshaker, then I should just buy one, right?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, it's not going to hurt you to buy 2 sets of tangos or whatever. It might hurt you if you can't buy clarities or something like that, but you just have to kind of conserve your mana. I mean, for Dazzle specifically, I think you can get away with just buying one and getting a clarity, and I think that's fine. But yeah, there's actually a pretty good example in pro play. Pilot Eye has been doing this, where he just buys everything, and he has one set of tangos and like a clarity sometimes. But he does completely fine. But that's also in a meta where like the offlaners just like don't even go to the offlane, like they just jungle the entire time. So that's another thing to think about. If you think somebody is just gonna jungle, you can just do that.
Okay. All right. Skill build Vengeful Spirit.
Okay.
I would maybe send that to the later part because we will watch a replay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Sure.
Dazzle item build in the one game. I will also show you that later. Yeah, I like to play Abaddon now.
Okay.
He has a very good win rate, and I also like to play him a lot. And I've seen the one course on GameLeap.com where they explained everything about him.
Yeah, that was Sovereigns, I
want
believe.
to advertise GameLeap.com for the people who watch this.
Very good.
And yeah, it was very good explanations. And there were some things, even when I play already 10 years Dota, there were some things I've never think about before. And was very, very interesting. But I started now to play him, and I feel like, is it really make it really sense to go for a dual offlane? Go for a solo offlane instead of dual? I think he's way stronger on dual offlanes. Because I'm getting zoned so much when I play him solo.
Yeah.
He's not a really, really powerful offlaner, in my opinion.
I think the guide was it was more like centered around the patch where Abaddon offlane was like very common. But I do think that solo Abaddon offlane is okay in some games. It really depends on what you're laning against. So he's a lot like other offlaners like Ench or Nature's Prophet, where if it's a dual lane, he can actually really crush that dual lane, like depending on the heroes, of course. Whereas if it's a tri lane, he kind of just has to like leave and go do something else. So that's the big thing. Like you can do dual offlane against a good tri lane in a lot of cases, but your playstyle has to kind of change depending on what's going on.
Who is good for him on a dual offlane?
Let me just look at heroes real quick.
Ogre Magi?
Yeah, Ogre's fine. Like any hero that's like pretty aggressive, preferably some offensive capabilities, tanky as well. Veno could be okay, but it would have to be against like really weak supports like a Rasta or something. Someone who you can just gale and then run down, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much any like strength hero. Like Tide is probably okay too, though it's not like very aggressive. Or alternatively, you could do something that just wants to farm and not play it at the Abaddon as a core. You could just have the Abaddon as like a defensive thing. Like he's quite a good support against Bane Marana, for example, just because you can shield the arrow. He's good against Rasta as well.
Okay. Dazzle. What about drums on Dazzle if I feel very, very kited and have big problems? Do you think drums is fine, or is it not worth it? What I should buy if I think I need more sustainability or more HP?
Did you say on Dazzle or Abaddon?
Yeah, Dazzle.
So drums on Dazzle. If you need HP, I think you can just get like Urn or Bracer. Drums are
just a single Bracer.
Maybe both Bracer and Urn, but I think like I don't know. My opinion on drums on supports is like pretty iffy. I think it's acceptable if you're playing against like a Zeus or like Spectre or something like that, where you just can't avoid the damage at all. But yeah.
Yeah, last time I played against Spectre and I feel like shit. Cannot do anything.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. You could also get a Glimmer Cape, though it's much more expensive.
That was my first mind as well. Sorry.
Yeah. It's much more expensive than Drum or Bracer, but it's definitely good. You can get Force too, but it's not very good. Yeah. I don't know, it's tricky. Like playing support in general against global heroes like that, like Zeus or Spectre, is just tough. I think Drum is okay, but you need to make sure that you're not like forgoing other options. Like for example, Glimmer Cape can do the same thing that a drum can if you're playing against a Zeus or a Spectre or whatever.
When I play Dazzle against Zeus, I like to go for Tranquil Boots as well.
Yeah, that's excellent.
And then on Soul Ring instead of my common mana boots.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine.
Okay.
Also, it might sound weird, but like support players like Puppy actually go for Tranquils and Arcanes some games. Like just because the mana boots is so helpful for the team. I know it sounds stupid because it's like 2 boots, but if you think about it, it's actually not that bad at all. Like you need the stats from the Tranquil boots, like the regen and the armor and everything, and the mana boots can also be nice. This is only good if you have like heroes on your team that are like very mana dependent, like Slark or a Doom or something like that. But yeah, Tranquil Soul Ring is totally fine. Other than that,
when I need to go for Vladimir's, so when I play like my Abaddon, it's very good for make sure that I have a lot of regen, and I can jungle with that as well, and it's really really good.
Right.
But what is Vladimir's exactly? Is it like a mid-game, early-game item? What is very good against physical damage dealers, or is it also fine to go for it when they have a lot of nukes? Sometimes I feel like I just should skip it and go for maybe Clan Screever's Clock. What is the pipe of Insight?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Well, it's kind of tough to say. I think like Vlad's doesn't really have a point in time where it's best. I mean, it's best early game because like 5 armor early game is much more significant than 5 armor late game, just because heroes have more damage and everything. It's also good mid game and late game though, so it's not like you're limited in that fact. As for when you buy it against nukers, I don't think it's that bad, particularly on Abaddon, because you can't just like instantly get bursted down, unless there's a Lina with like Aghanims and level 16 on the other team or something like that, and then they can kill you before you get your borrowed time off. But I think alternatively you could just go Vlad's and maybe a cloak before that, and that's completely fine. And then you can go pipe afterwards. Vlad's is like pretty important on the hero though if you're playing it as a core, because like you said, it helps you jungle. You can push out lanes without having to go back. It's just a good item. And generally with Abaddon you want to group, like and just fight around 10-15 minutes. So the aura is like quite helpful for your team. I'm sure might be some games where you can just go pipe rather than Vlad's, but I think that's more a competitive game.
I always group up with Abaddon minute 10 and 15, yeah?
Well, it depends. I mean, if your team is strong enough to do that, then yes. But it's actually
really strong at this time.
Yeah, for sure. So it's totally fine if like your team is really weak. You can just sit bottom and just like push the wave in and like keep pressuring the tower by yourself and drawing attention, creating space. And that will like let your team catch up. That's another way to make use of Abaddon's strength. Around this time period.
Okay. Next question: what are the biggest counters in your opinion against Spectre?
Against Spectre.
Right. It really hurts her.
So typically there are like 2 ways to deal with Spectre. One is grouping early and pushing, and the other one is just scaling well and being able to burst her down in fights or just in the laning phase. So like I consider Chen a good hero against Spectre, sort of, just because you can push towers very early, or like Death Prophet is okay as well, and she's not really affected by Spectre just jumping on her, because she can like just siphon, and that's pretty good. Typically just any heroes I can push very quickly early on. That, or you can go with the bursting route, like in the mid game. So you can go for like Ursa, Lina, Zeus is pretty good. Ancient Apparition is good in general, like not necessarily for pushing or bursting, but it's good at killing him. That's generally my approach when I play against Spectre. That or somebody who can find her in the jungle. Yeah, no, Slark is great too. Like, he's not really good at bursting her, but he's good at like finding her in the jungle when she's farming or whatever, or like making it hard for her to farm, like and get out on the map.
Okay. And what is about Antimage?
Antimage is like okay. I think he will out farm her for sure.
But
it's
he
like
has problems during the 35 minute mark, right?
Yeah, like after 35 minutes, I'd say, is when it starts becoming an issue. Like he still does a very good job. Like at that point, if you're having a good anti-mage game, you should be 6 slotted. So anti-mage is fine. The problem is like the Spectre is going to kill your whole team most likely, and you can't out carry that. It really depends on the game though. Like I think anti-mage is okay, but it's not like a hard counter. Yeah, just because like you have to farm very hard and your team can't die and all that stuff.
Do you think that they will nerf the Spectre next patch?
Maybe slightly. they have a couple of ways they can do it. They can nerf like her survivability early on, like maybe base HP, base strength. They might nerf dispersion. I don't know. I think she's actually like not super broken. She's just really easy to play is the issue. And like the thing with Spectre is you don't have to be really good to do well on her. You just have to like farm and then go to fights whenever. It's really easy to play without having to think. I think that's the biggest issue.
What is with Batman? Is it true that he was like a 5K player a couple of months ago, and he just found out how to play her perfectly, or did he already wear like 7K before?
Oh, I have no idea.
You don't know it, right? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. I know he's really good. Like I've watched a couple of his replays, and he's a great Spectre player.
But he only plays Spectre and Chaos now.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Like
it's a funny thing. It works. Usually I would expect that they just counter him hard and it should be fine. But you almost reached like 9K now.
Yeah. Well, it's a similar thing with like Arteezy was playing Ember Spirit. Like he played it like 50 games in a row or something. So stupid, like
really?
ridiculous.
I didn't know it.
Yeah, he just first picked it every game, and he gained like I think 500 MMR doing it or something. And like Ember Spirit is like super easily countered. Like just looking at the heroes really quick, there's Doom, there's Skywrath, there's like Lion, just there's a bunch of counters to this hero, and he just first picked it and he won every game, and that's because he's just really good and he understands like map movements. He knows how to lane well, get the most out of his lane.
Yeah,
he knows how to fight. Like that's probably why Batman is good.
It was also good advice what BSJ gave on Game Leap when he said, if you want to learn a new hero, just keep spamming him and always pick him first time and first pick and just play him like 15 times, and then you know exactly how to counter him, and it also affects your own gameplay when you want to counter somebody. And I just try it out now with a couple of heroes. Yeah,
no, I definitely agree with that mentality. I typically like give a bigger number, like 50 games or something like that, if you really want to like master, or not master, but like get really good at the hero. 15 is totally fine though, and that's like a good number to where you won't like hate Dota. Like if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure. Okay, Spectre. Can you explain me the difference between position 4 and 5? For me, it's like 4 is just the second support who really needs a key item, like a dagger on Lion or dagger on Shaker if you play him on a support role, whatever. And 5 is just a bitch of the team.
Well,
for me, but
yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Both of them.
Well, typically it's just a farm priority thing. Like, the 5 hero doesn't need as much farm as the 4 hero to do his job. Like a Disruptor, for example, doesn't really need that much gold to do his job. He just needs to glimpse and cast Static Storm, and he does the same thing. Whereas like a Lion, for example, even though Lion has been played as a 5 like recently, he kind of needs a blink in order to do well in some games. I think a better example might be like, let's look.
Lich is 5.
Yeah, Lich is a 5 because like all he needs to do is cast his spells, and like he has very long range.
As well, right?
Yep.
Do you think some more 5s for you? Maiden as well?
Maiden is okay. She can be a 4 sometimes, but she can do her job with just tranquil boots, so she can be a good 5. Ancient Apparition as well, Oracle as well. Pugna can be a 5, but it's tricky. Shadow Demon, Rubik can be 5. Rasa can be 5 as well.
Okay.
Witch Doctor, Wyvern.
And what are typical 4 then? For me, like Witch Doctor is also a 4 for me, because I thought, or maybe more Rubik. Witch Doctor not, but Rubik really needs a dagger. I thought.
I don't think so.
What is typical 4 for you?
So typical 4 is generally someone who like absolutely needs a blink or can just farm really well. Like yeah, Shaker definitely is a good example of a 4. Though like Shaker can be played as a 5 too. Like you can just play it defensively with Fissure and like focus on defensive fissures or like blocking people off early on, and that's fine. Other examples of 4s are like Ogre, but he can be 5 as well. Like really, it just depends on what your team wants out of the hero. Like I think the idea of 4 and 5 really matters more in competitive play, where like you have a set strategy. Like I think that's really when 4 and 5 matters.
Okay. Really matters more for a competitive play. Okay. Okay. Now we should go to the next part. I want you to check my keys.
Okay,
just to have a look on it. Because I have changed a lot in the last weeks, and yeah, I'm still not sure about if it's right or not, and I need some advices.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you can just send me a screenshot or like share your screen, something like that.
Yeah, I will just share my screen.
Okay, that works.
So you should see it now.
Yep. Okay, I'll pull it up on the recording. Okay, so you have QWEDS. Okay, that's weird. Why do you use D and S for your third and fourth abilities, or your fourth and fifth abilities?
Why?
Yeah, do you have a specific reason? I mean, I think it's okay.
No,
I'm just curious.
It's just very close to my other keys.
Okay, no, that's fine.
I only need it very, very few times, like when I play Spectre or Puck. Usually yeah.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Because it's high priority keys, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest reason. I mean, I think it's fine though. Like, your abilities are almost always high priority keys as well. So,
what do you have for the 4 and 5?
I use D and F. I mean, they're very similar, but I just wanted to know why you used S. A lot of people will use S for stop or something like that, but
okay.
No big deal. It's okay. I was just curious. So you use attack, move. Okay. Stop. Do you use force attack? Like when you right click on something, do you? Okay, never mind. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, yeah, go back to hotkeys. Okay, C all units, F1 hero. That's kind of concerning. All other units. Okay.
So
Yeah, you have good control groups. Do you use 1 for your hero, or do you use F1? Like, do you bind your hero to...
Yeah, I try to do it now with 1, but it doesn't work. I still have my F1. Where is it?
Okay, no, that's fine.
Here. I still use this.
Yeah.
So, because one problem I have now is I would like to have when I play what was the Arc1? And then I really need these things, like the 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, they're very important.
But I don't have a key where I have all my units controlled.
Okay.
And that becomes not an issue now for me, but I think when I maybe start to play Shen, I really need it. But it's only Shen, right?
Pretty much, yeah. It could be Ench as well. It could be Lycan, something like that.
Yeah, but it's not really that much necessary to have a... I don't know which key I should use for it.
You could use 6. Oh no, you have that as Gear Courier. Okay.
Can you use 5?
Yeah, I think you could use 5 as well. Like 4 control groups are generally pretty good. It really depends on what you want.
C and 5.
Yeah, I think that's completely fine.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes really sense.
Okay. So your courier deliver items is Alt G. That's probably fine. Speed burst Alt H. Okay. Your item hotkey Q, W, E. Do you use quick cast for items?
No.
Okay. No, that's fine.
I don't know what that really means. Yeah, sure, I understand it, but I feel like I don't need it. But yeah.
No, you don't. You don't. It's okay. I use quick cast just because it like takes a keystroke out of every command, and that's fine. But it's completely personal preference, really.
Okay.
Okay. So you use Q, W, E, Q, W, E, R, F, space. Okay.
Where are you?
Items. Sorry. So, are these keys like easy for you to hit? Like, to me, pressing Alt and R is like weird, but I can understand like you might use your thumb to press R.
I have very, very big hands.
Okay. No, okay, that's fine.
Quite big hands.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. So and then open shop is X, and then purchase stick is V. Okay. So you use F1 for your hero, right? So I think you could make use of F2 through 4 for like the shop and sticky hotkeys and quick buy. Like these are not really keys that you have to press in the heat of the moment. Like maybe you have to press your quick buy when you're about to die or something. Yeah.
So, for open shop F2?
You could do that. I also use I use B for shop personally, but F2 could work just fine. Maybe.
But B is chatting to my whole team that they should go back. And
okay.
Very, very important. Cause
yeah. No, that's fine. That's okay.
Okay.
Maybe I think F4 actually makes more sense for shop. That way, like when you go to select your hero, if you misclick and you hit F2 on accident, you won't just open the shop, right away, and that would be like pretty bad.
Makes sense. But why I need really the X? Though in my opinion, I have now everything in my keys, everything I need, because I don't know which. So like 4 weeks ago, I hadn't like stash items and I hadn't sticky. And I started now with both of them, and I hadn't C, like select all other units, and it really becomes better now with my gameplay.
Yeah, for sure.
Just C3, but I needed to create a lot of space for them. And yeah, it's a good idea to use F2 for shop maybe, or F3, whatever. But I don't know why I should take the X for what I should need it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, alternatively, you could add another control group with those keys, something else. Like you have C already bound to select all our other units, so it would make sense to put other slots here. Or alternatively, you could have your item hotkeys as like one key rather than pressing Alt. Because like if you think about it, even though you have big hands or whatever, you're still pressing 2 keys instead of pressing 1, and that will naturally take like slightly more time. So you could change your like very important item hotkeys to this. So like Blink Dagger, or Yules, or Orchid, or something like that. Because like if you're, if somebody blinks on you and you have a hex, you want to be able to hex them like as fast as possible, like or something like that. Or you want to be able to blink hex as fast as possible. That's probably my best argument here.
Maybe X for this one.
Yeah, something like that. That would be fine.
Because if alt, I always have my boots now, face boots, mana boots, whatever.
Okay.
But that makes sense. You are good. Yeah, that makes really sense.
All right, awesome.
So like this on X and this one F2.
Okay.
Because I already have F3 and F4 is to have 3 right clicks on 1 right click.
Oh, okay. That must be for a rune or something.
But it's good for runes and so on.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think that's okay.
But the thing, I just want to know, if I want to climb up in the MMR ladder, do I need more stuff, or is that fine? That was my
no.
question.
You can go with like default key bindings, and you'll be able to climb MMR. What really matters is your decision making and stuff. So this is all fine, and this is just like trying to optimize stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, this is completely fine. Can you go to your options really quick though? I want to like just read through it really quick. Okay, auto attack. Auto select summon. Do you like auto select summon units?
Yeah, it depends. When I play Lancer, for example, I switch it. But when I play Antimage, I really need it since I use my meta style and I need to control them.
Yeah.
But it depends on the hero. I always change it before the fight starting.
Okay.
Or before my big plays starting.
Yeah, that's totally fine. What about teleport requires stop? Do you ever have moments where you cancel your TP on accident?
No.
Okay.
I always use it with shift and...
Okay. That's fine. Double tap ability to self-cast.
I was curious about minimap alt always on. Like, with some pros I see they immediately switch them. No, not immediately. They switch it all the time.
Yep.
I don't need that, because I have a problem with recognize who has which color. And I start to... just look for my threats, like Legion Commander. When I play Antimage, I know the Legion Commander is the yellow one.
Right.
But I have really problems with all 5. And yeah, I don't know. Is it fine to use it the whole time with that? Or should I really focus on learning it? Sometimes when I see a TP, I watch immediately on the top and need like a half second to see, okay, now the OD is coming.
Yeah, I mean, I think like there are disadvantages and advantages for either side. Personally, I like the hero icons just because like I can look at the map and just I don't really have an issue with like seeing who's TPing in for whatever reason. I think I still associate the color with the hero. I think like there are arguments for both, and really it's just whatever you like.
You do associate it, or you don't associate it?
I do associate it. So like I just like at the beginning of the game, I just run through each person and like try to put their color in my head and just kind of store that information, like if that makes sense.
Okay.
I don't really focus on it too much, but maybe it's just like that habit helps me.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is totally personal preference. Like no worries about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything else looks okay. The double tap ability to self-cast is a bit iffy, but it's really preference as well.
Yeah, sometimes...
Yeah, like when I play Bane, I hate having this on. Like, it's okay if you never misclick and you never, you know, press the wrong keys or whatever, but sometimes you're just like chasing a guy and you're like mashing E, like, all right, I need to nightmare this guy, but you just self-cast it on yourself, and that's just awkward for everybody.
But when I played Dazzle, for example, it never happens before. But I've also listened to PPD, and he said he has seen big problems. Big issues with that. That some people, there's some just games were lost by a double tap on Grave from Dazzle. And
yeah, I think that's why I have it off personally. But I mean, it is preference, and technically, if you never misclick, it's a good option to have.
Yeah, maybe that happens in 7K, but not in my 5K. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I get it. All right. Should we go for the replays now?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
So you can just send the match IDs.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So, skilled wrench. Replay. Okay. Sorry.
Yep, no worries.
So, that's the first match ID.
Okay. Okay. Abaddon. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. Let me know if it's good.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So we are Abaddon in this game, presumably offlane. We're playing against Rasta, Pudge. Okay.
Also 5.3 average.
Okay. So at the beginning of the game, especially for like offlaners and supports, you kind of need to identify what you're going to lane against. In this case, it looks like, I mean, this is a weird game, but Rasta, Dazzle, and Ench, maybe? Like Ench carry? Is that the case? Or...
No, it was a really weird game, and I just asked you because I need some advices for the first 10 minutes. It was one of the weirdest games I had so far, because everybody just changed the whole time the lane.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, these guys have a really weird composition. Already, like right away, your strategy should just be not lose for 20 minutes, and then you'll win. These guys are just insane at pushing, but they don't really scale that well. They don't have much damage on their team. Like, their best damage dealer is an Enchantress, which is fine. Like, she does a lot of damage, but she can't carry a game by herself unless she really snowballs. So already my strategy would just be like, play safe, just get XP when I can, maybe go help mid and make sure they don't lose, something like that. And that would pretty much automatically win you the game, just by like not losing. I mean, that sounds stupid. Not losing makes you win, but in this case, I think that would be good, just because they don't scale very well. And you have 5 heroes who do scale quite well.
But we have it was weird picks, like the Ursa as the 5th pick was really weird.
Yeah.
Because, we don't have something to control them really good. Haven't we?
Well, you have a... If Invoker goes... he went Exort, okay. If he goes Quas Wex, he can control them like quite well. He's very good against these heroes. Also, you have Wraith King and like Potom, which aren't bad. They're not great by any means, but yeah.
But the Potom was the jungling Potom? Or something like that. It was just weird.
Yeah. Well, EG actually ran jungle Potom, like, for a bit. Like, they had her roam, obviously, too. Like, she didn't just sit in the jungle, but yeah.
But she didn't support...
yeah, no, that's fine.
So...
Yeah, I mean, you might run into issues with that, but ultimately, like, this isn't TI, so it doesn't have to be, like, a perfect Dota player or whatever in order for you to win. It doesn't matter so much. Okay, so you're 1v1 or 1v2 against Ench and Dazzle. I'd say in this game I would get a PMS, just because Ench is going to be hitting you a lot. So a Poor Man Shield, that would be quite helpful. Other stuff, you could also get a Ring of Regen. That would be helpful as well. You'll see like Faceless Voids do this a bit, but any Vlad's builder is basically pretty good, so you can just get like a 350 gold item. That would be fine. I don't...
The boots don't help me as in any case now.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not bad, and they will prevent some damage, because like if you run up to hit this creep, for example, like you'll do it more quickly, and she won't get as many hits off. Like maybe you'll save 1 or 2 hits. But the PMS is very good against her creeps as well. And so is the regen. So I think in this case I would get PMS and Ring of Regen.
Also, if I play an Antimage on a dual lane with someone who cannot zone here, should I also go for a PMS then?
It depends. Like it really depends on what you have issues with. Like if it's a dual lane that can kill you, then you have to go boots kind of, just because like running more quickly will allow you to position better, and maybe you will be able to get away from a gank. But if you're able to survive, then you can go PMS or Ring of Health, and those are both fine. It really just depends on like what you need for that game. But yeah, so if you were against a lane that was more CC heavy, like let's say Rasta was bottom instead, then going boots would be okay. Like it would be very good actually, because like you would need to make sure you're staying out of range of Shackle, otherwise you can die. So yeah.
Okay. So the bottom said now to me I need to go top, because Race King cannot farm on this against this 3 lane there, and I wasn't sure about it.
I think it's fine. I mean, like if you think about it, like Wraith King can't really farm down here either, because it's an inch, and it's probably worse than Clockwork. But I think it is okay to lane switch in this case. Like at least Wraith King will get some farm under tower, and he probably won't die to inch if he's not like super bad. It's fine to switch, and like you'll be able to get some stuff against Clock as well, and you probably won't die. You can die if you get like cogsed in and you don't have shield up or something, but that shouldn't happen. I think it would be okay to switch here, or alternatively you could just have bottom go top and farm, and you can just lane with Wraith King and you become a support, and that's fine too.
Okay.
Yeah, it really just depends on what you guys want to do.
Dota is so complicated.
Yeah, it is. Generally, like, it's not that complicated. You just have to like make it easy for yourself. Like a lot of the times people overthink things, and they'll be like very focused on what's in the meta game or whatever. Whereas like I don't know where I'm going with this, but generally if you try to keep it as simple as possible, like it makes things easier, and you actually learn better that way, because like you're not focused on random things like Clockwork, Pudge versus Abaddon matchups or whatever. You're just focused on playing Abaddon. I'm not sure if I'm getting my ideas out correctly, but yeah.
Yeah, I can understand it.
Okay. So yeah, so you end up going mid.
No, I'm mid.
Yeah. This wasn't a bad idea. It just had to be done a little bit sooner, I think, and you could save him. Like the issue here is he gets nuked and he dies before you get in. Yeah,
just
so
a half second earlier, or maybe 1 second, and it should be fine. But I said to him, just tell me. I don't see it the whole time because I just watch a minimap. And if he was using voice chats, then maybe could be possible. But
yeah, maybe
they don't communicate that much with me.
Yeah, well, communication isn't something that you can rely on, right? Like, it is something that you I mean, in an ideal world, you would be able to work with it and rely on it. But really, like, you have all of the information you need to know that this is happening. You just didn't look and use your camera well. Basically, like, it is kind of annoying to have to like keep looking like oh look, okay, I'm last sitting and making sure Ench doesn't hit me, and like I see mid. Yeah, I think it is worth it if you can last hit and like lane properly, and you can also look mid really quick just to see what's going on. I think it's totally worth it. Like I'll try to find the exact point where you should do this. Okay, so like as soon as Dazzle shows up, you just need to glance, like make it a habit to like look really quick, because like you'll see that this guy is okay. He's in between Dazzle and Rasta, like he's in trouble. If he gets shackled, he's dead. He's dead without that because he has no points in Wix. So like it really is worth it to just look. As long as you're not like suiciding yourself and like running your hero into people, then it's fine to look. Especially as an offlaner or a support. Okay. So now
I need to work on
for sure. So now you're mid.
I'm sorry?
So now we are mid, and we're in an awkward position because we just have to leave because Invoker's here. Kind of sucks, but it's okay. Okay. Yeah, I think this is a fine rotation. You guys could just have Ursa lane top actually now, and this is a good idea because he's very good against Clock. Yeah, so you go to pulling. I think this is a great way to recover. Like you kind of had to realize that like, okay, my team is in a crappy spot, but I can make this better by like helping out top.
Resets the wave, yeah.
Yeah. Like this is fine.
But the alternative would be just raise king bottom
Mm-hmm. And
Quap top, me top, and Ursa jungling, right?
mm-hmm.
Like, would that be the correct decision in this case?
It would be an okay position for sure. The problem with like Ursa jungling is that he is a hero that can, really pressure the Clockwork in lane. He's probably the only hero actually that can do that on your team. Clockwork will have a lot of trouble winning against Ursa just because Ursa can kill him or do a lot of damage to him. Whereas like you can't do that, Wraithkin can't do that, Potom can't do that, Invoker can't really either. So like that's one issue I see. The benefits from this would be Ursa gets a lot of farm, and that's pretty good. Or he can like sneak a Roche or something. But I think it is better to have Ursa lane in this case. Does it really matter? Probably not. In a pub, maybe it would matter in a competitive game, but it doesn't matter so much in a pub. But that's what I think would be the optimal thing for these heroes.
Right.
Yeah.
So now just tell me what I should do and what I should not do. I just want to know if these moves are correct or not.
Okay.
Think about it.
Okay.
Because it was such a weird game.
Yeah, so I'll just speed up. Typically, like, if you're in a position like this where you just kind of have to leave your lane, you should just focus on counter ganking. Like, you can make Pudge's life really suck if you just show up to wherever he's ganking, and just shield a person. I think also you should go for a healing build in this case because you're like switching to a support role kind of. The strength of Curse of Avernus is like chasing people down and fighting them. You could do this to Rasta, you could do this to Dazzle.
Instead of phase boots, I need now magic stick maybe?
Yeah, that would be fine. I don't think phase would help you so much when you're supporting. It's not bad, and you'll be able to farm faster, and maybe chase down heroes slightly better, but yeah, I think in this case it would be better to just go for a healing build, and you can still go Vlad's, but maybe get Arcade Moods instead, and just commit to using heal. I think that would help your team slightly more.
Okay.
Oh, that's big. Let's see what happened here. I think you guys just tried to go for a kill where you shouldn't have. Clock just doesn't die to your heroes in this case.
Yeah. The shit thing was just that Pudge found haste. I was sure he will come, but not with haste.
Yeah, and it's definitely pretty rough, but that's something you kind of have to be cognizant of, right? Like, all right, rune is spawning, Pudge is going for it. You had vision of this, so you could see that Pudge got the rune. But yeah, I think the real issue is just going for the clock. Like, that's not going to be a kill that you guys get unless you have a very serious positioning advantage on him.
Yeah.
But either way, not the biggest deal. It ended up creating a lot of space. Wraithkin can't farm during this time, but not bad. And Ursa ended up getting Roche, so not really the worst at all. Okay, so you go bottom. I think this is fine. You need to find a place to get levels, even though you're support. Okay, you're likely not going to die to this hero. Yep, good.
Big plays coming out here from Abaddon.
Alright, very good. I think here I actually would have turned, shield yourself and then turn on her. Yeah. So, just because she's tanking tower, right? She does have her heal going, and that's quite significant. But she's not going to do too much damage to you if you're just next to her with shields. And also you can juke around this tree, you can do other stuff. Maybe you could tank a couple hits with shield on and then run behind the trees, or time it so that you're going to take a couple hits.
It would be a kill, right?
Maybe. She would have to commit to a couple more tower hits. And what I'm saying is kind of stupid. It's going for a big play where you don't really have to. You could just survive. But I think that's something you could have done in this case. I probably would have gone for it. Maybe I would just die and fall flat on my face. But I think that's something I would try to go for.
Yeah.
But not a biggest deal. I think what you did is completely fine. Just surviving. That's totally good. Okay, so then you TP mid. This is good map awareness. Okay. Looks like you weren't actually needed, but I think it's still fine. I do want to see if you look before you TP. Okay, you do. Good. Yeah, this is fine. You weren't actually needed, but I think with the information given, I would have TP'd as well. I think it's totally fine.
I could have checked Pudge's mana pool maybe and see if he is still 140.
Yeah, that's probably something you could have done slightly better, and then you would know whether or not Invoker would die. Yeah, I think that's probably that's a good point for sure.
Okay, so I would change now the replay because I think
sure.
was enough.
Yep.
Because I realized also in this after 10 minutes I realized okay we will win this game. It doesn't look like that they're doing well. Because just look at the lineup and we are 7-4 ahead and already have one Russia then.
Right.
Okay. So next thing coming out from a Venge. Vengeful. Okay, so game ID is. So, what do you think about the Vengeful pick? Is it still a viable
Oh yeah,
pick in
yeah, she's still a really good hero.
position 5?
Yeah, I think so. I think she just like she's another one of those heroes that just like can do her job without any farm at all. Like you can just be Avenged with boots at 20 minutes and you'll be able to swap people out no matter what. So long as you get your levels, obviously. But yeah, I think she's really good for carrying games in pubs. I think. Well, depending on what you're playing against, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as a support, yeah, not for carry.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think she can carry from the support role for sure.
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your Venge, you go Treads, Solar Crest. Okay.
I'm just not sure about the item build because I don't know if Treads are good for her.
Mm-hmm.
They're
okay.
I also don't know about the skill build. Sometimes you see the 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2 old build, and sometimes they max magic missile first.
Yeah, it really depends on what you want to do. Like Venge's skill build changes pretty much every game, depending on what your team wants to do. While this is downloading, basically like if you're going for kills, magic missile. If you are trading with the offlaner, get Wave of Terror. If you are going for Roshan, get Wave of Terror. Or if you just have a lot of physical damage, you can just go like a Wave of Terror as well, and that's fine. I'm not sure about maxing your aura first. I've seen people do it, but I'm not like totally sold on it.
Not maxing. I just meant 1 point, but you don't think it's worth it?
I am not sure. No, I think it's maxing it like eventually is worth it for sure. Okay, so replay fail. That sucks. Okay. 1 sec. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm gonna restart my Dota and try to download this.
Okay. Oh shit.
Okay.
That costs time.
No, it's okay. I'm not gonna like nickel and dime you for that.
Oh, nice. What is that for a picture? Is it from a game?
Oh, I don't know. I just thought it was a nice piece of artwork. I thought it was very nice looking. That's all.
Okay.
It might be from a game or like.
So what I need to learn in the 5K bracket?
What do you need to learn in the 5K bracket? Basically like your mechanics are starting to get like pretty good if you're 5K most likely. So really you just need to figure out what your role is in the game and like really adapt to that. So like in the Abaddon game, for example, like you needed to realize that your role was to support, so you needed to kind of like switch gears and go from being an offlaner who buys phase boots and Vlads to like maybe a support who buys arcane boots and maxes heal and helps your team that way.
Okay.
Maybe so in fights, like if you're Venge, you need to realize if you need to like cancel a black hole with swap, or swap your teammate out of the black hole or something like that, or like save swap for defensive spells rather than canceling channeling spells. That's when like these decisions start to really matter, more than anything, I think.
Yeah. For example, in the Abaddon game, I really started to buy all wards and gem and sentries, so I realized that I should be a support because Mirana hesitated to do it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, you're right. With the skill bit makes really sense.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So as a gankable support, especially with Bounty Hunter, I decided to go for early smoke. And I think as a support with stun, I always should buy smoke first. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, it depends on if you have a lane to gank or not. Because, like, these guys are very vulnerable, right? Like, they have Invoker, super easy to gank. You know, if you have Dust or whatever. Or Detection. Ancient Apparition can die, Disruptor can die to, like, anything. So I think a smoke is good in this case. There are going to be some games where you just can't kill anyone. Like, maybe there's a puck mid. Yeah, puck mid, exactly. Or, like, maybe they have a Treant Protector, Dazzle support duo. And you're just never going to kill any heroes. And in that case, it's, like, kind of a waste, but it's really not that bad.
Okay.
You're going to need the smoke eventually anyway, and I don't think it will hurt you so much, so it's fine. Okay, so generally you want to buy your items a little bit more quickly and run down here faster. Normally it's the carry's job to do this, but I think it's fine for you to do this as well. But your items are fine otherwise. Okay, so yep.
Should I maybe hide my smoke in my jungle?
No, it's okay. I mean, that's not a bad idea for sure, but it's not something necessary.
Sometimes I do it because when I am playing mid and I see that they have smoke, I play a lot safer since minute 2 until 5 or 6.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea. Like, honestly, it's not. But you also like kind of have to consider the opportunity costs. Like, I think it's an okay play to do if you're willing to do it. But
it costs time and it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's like slightly risky, and also like if the mid is playing more safely, your mid player is like at less of a risk, right? So like you're getting information by him getting information as well. If you like do the double read, so to speak.
Like you mean they play safer and so that creates space for my mid?
Yeah, and you're just your team in general, and also like if they start playing more safely because you're off the map and they have a smoke, and then all of a sudden they just start being more aggressive, your mid player might be able to read this as like, okay, this guy just went from being safe and playing very safely to being really aggressive for no reason. So maybe he's getting a gank right now. So maybe I'm getting ganked. Like there's information that you can extract from this. It's definitely like a bit reachy in a sense, but I think it's valid. But yeah, anyway, long story short, like the smoke play is totally fine. You don't have to worry so much about it.
Okay. So first question, can you go 20 seconds back? I
Yep.
checked the small camp.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure, just to have the information if he's blocked it.
Yep.
And I wasn't sure about should I stack it now or should I start to harass
Mm-hmm.
or zone.
I think
Then I decided to try a pull, but it didn't work because he blocked it.
Yeah.
What should be the right thing there?
Okay, so let's go back a little bit further actually, because that matters. Okay, so we see Nyx at the start. I do think zoning would have been slightly better, but it's kind of tricky. And you guys have to do it together to be effective. So you go back and check the small camp. Good play. This is totally fine. Ideally, you do this before you're like here. So like at 30 seconds, you're right here. Just waiting for it to spawn. Then you can see if it spawns or whatever. Then you can deward it right away, or like know that you don't have that camp accessible, and then you can immediately go to zoning.
Okay.
I think if the small camp is blocked, then you can just always pull this, which is nice, unless he blocks it or whatever. Which he kind of should. It's a good place to block for sure. But yeah. So yeah, okay, sorry. So basically like he should block this because it is a good place for him to block. Like you're going to get more out of this pull camp than he will most likely. So it's fine. Yeah. So going to zone here would have been slightly better. I think the stack was fine, but the issue with zoning in this case is that it's a Nyx and he just like doesn't take that much damage and he has crazy regen. So you guys kind of have to zone him together if you want to be like, or have it be really effective. I think you can solo zone him in a sense, like if you wave like this, yeah, this is fine. But he is going to out-trade you. You luckily have a lot of regen, so it's fine. But see what I mean? Like you took like a ton of damage compared to him here because of his PMS. Whereas like if you
crazy regen is like 2.0.
It's 2.5, I think actually, which is absurd. Like so good. But yeah. Basically what I mean is, like, in a perfect world, Morphling would be trading with you. Or, like, you could tell Morphling, like, hey, let's trade here. Maybe we can't kill him, but, we'll do a lot of damage to him. And that's worth it in most cases. That's the only way you're going to zone this hero. But as soon as, like, you realize that you can't out-trade him, and, like, your Morphling's not going to trade with you, you just abandon ship and, like, go pull and just get your levels that way. And maybe, like... Yeah. And maybe when Bounty comes bottom, or when Morphling is higher level, you can go for a kill. But yeah, basically just like as soon as you realize you can't trade with him anymore, just stick to like going to pull, get your levels, go to runes, ganking mid, other stuff. Whereas like if you could zone him, then it would be fine to just sit here and do that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes when I play on 3 lanes, I play mostly carry when I play on 3 lanes, because when I play with my friends, I always take the carry role on Team MMR.
Okay.
And then we pull a lot, and like when I play Antimage, I buy a lot of times. I buy PMS and have like 4 or sometimes 8 tangos, and then I also big plays coming out. Wait a moment.
Okay, good. So what were you saying?
That was a 6k invoker. I was so proud of it.
Very good.
Okay. Is that also fine to use my haste now for that, or should I immediately run bottom and keep my levels high, or keep going for levels?
I think this is pretty fine. I mean, like, it's actually good because you're going to be zoning Ancient Apparition from getting these levels. Whereas, like, he would be really happy to take this lane and just, like, get some XP.
Okay.
So that would be fine. The creep wave is, like, being weird and it's following him. So it, like, doesn't really apply in this case, but that's a good idea. But, anyway, what were you saying about the Antimage thing? I'm really curious.
Yeah, sometimes I buy a PMS then and tank 1, 2, or 3 creep waves and have a Quelling Blade, and they get a lot of levels with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just not sure, but when I play 3 lanes, it's really necessary that I go for massive pulls, right?
Yeah, in most cases. Yeah. So, like, as long as your carry has the regen to stay under tower, and he can last hit under tower, like he has the damage to, then you should just pull. Most 5k players can do this, like, moderately well. I'd be worried if they got to 5k, if they couldn't last hit, like, 70% of the creeps under tower. Yeah. I mean, there are some heroes that just suck at it, like Morphling is kind of bad. Like, he doesn't really have the tankiness necessary until he gets, like, Ring of Health or something. But yeah, in most cases, you can just pull and try lanes, and, like, you need to do this to get levels. I think you have the right idea.
Okay.
Okay, so this mid-rotation was good. The smoke was good. I'll look at the execution one more time, just to see how it goes. Okay, you just killed him.
You want to see a big play again. Nice.
Basically, yeah. Alright. So you already had a sentry down here, so this is pretty easy. He doesn't even have invis, so there's no worry about that.
That's his sentry.
Oh, it is? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, okay. Yeah, and Bounty has a sentry, and he'll place it. Okay, so this is fine. The key thing is you guys had detection, so... Oh, okay. Okay, so it's not bad, but it mostly worked because Invoker didn't just run away.
Yeah, it was weird from him, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this is... It's not the worst play I've ever seen, but it's pretty bad.
But how we should usually run? Like this way is okay as long as he doesn't have vision. But in general, we should run... Could you just show me the way? Usually I cannot show it, but I should run to the top room behind Lina and come from the other side, right?
Yeah, from here. Yeah, from this side. Okay. So running through river is fine because you guys are smoked, right? That's okay. But the issue here is, like, you have Bounty go first. And this is, like... It makes sense if they don't have a sentry. Like, okay, Bounty goes first, he'll get up close, and that's fine.
But usually I should.
Yeah, you should assume that, like, this guy's gonna have a sentry. Like, he's a 6k player, this is a 5k game. Like, people buy sentry wars, they just do, when it's Bounty. So you should assume that, like, Bounty's invis does not matter because they will have a sentry. Yeah, okay. That's just... It's something you can assume in most games. Like, if it's a 5k game, people are gonna buy sentries. That's just how it is. So if you guys ran at the same time, and, like, had you lead, it would have been completely fine. And, like, you have a sentry, so yeah. That's, like, the only issue with this. Well, yeah, kind of. It was a misplay, in a sense.
Okay. Shit.
Yeah, but you guys get the kill and everything, but, like, still. Maybe if this guy reacts slightly more differently, like, and he just runs away as soon as he sees Bounty, you guys don't get the kill. Whereas, like, if a Venge comes out of a smoke with a haste, he's dead. Like, guaranteed.
Okay. And when I should go by... when I should tank the tower, like, only when I have Augur or when my own creeps are there. So sometimes it makes more sense to run behind the tower.
Yep.
But I really need to have a tanky hero, and Venge is not the...
Well, technically, it's, like, you can tank on any hero, so long as you're not going to die guaranteed. Like, even if they cast their spells on you or whatever. So if, for example, you're Venge, and you know that you can tank, like, 3 tower shots to run from here to here or something like this, or, like, maybe it's 4 or 5, and you know that you can survive even if Invoker casts his spells on you, which is probably not true, because if he casts, like, Sunstrike on you, you're gonna die. But just as an example, like, if you know that you're gonna survive no matter what, and you're gonna get the kill no matter what, then it's okay. You just have to be careful of, like, another support showing up, or, like, TPing there. Yeah, obviously it's fine on, like, Ogre and stuff, because you have 10, 15 armor, or whatever it is, like, some ridiculous number. Like, I think it's 7, actually, but yeah. So basically just, like, if you can survive, it's fine. If you can't, it's fine, too. Yeah.
And as a support from unsafe lane on the Dire side, and when I want to go for a smoke then it's another approach, right? Then it's just straight up to the mid on the top of their... Like,
Yeah, this area?
Yeah, exactly this.
Okay. So it depends on what you're playing against. In some cases, like if the wave is pushed up to your tower, then you could just run through lane. Or it's also good if the wave is pushed up to their tower. Like you can just run through lane as well if you're smoked. But generally, if the lane is like just in a stagnant position, it's better to run from here or behind tower here. This is okay. You actually, with the new map changes, or like the old map changes, but like the newish ones, or the newest ones anyways, you can actually just run like this and gank from here. Like you can run past this point and not take any tower hits. So this is fine too. But it's a little bit easier for them to see you in most cases. Unless you run like this path here, run up, then go here. Then it's okay. But yeah, you have a couple options from Dire. But generally this is the best one because you have this tree line. This is quite good.
Okay.
Okay, so you end up going bottom, get a kill. That's good. This is good because like you have stun at this point, whereas before you only had Wave of Terror, and Morphling is also higher level, so he'll do more damage. Bounty also higher level, he'll do more damage. So at this point, like you guys have the damage to kill Nyx, so it's good to be down here. This is good. Okay, so
yeah, in
this
this case, I should have skilled a magic missile.
I think so, yeah. Basically, like, you just have a ton of magic damage on your team, so it's pretty much better to just go for a magic missile. Okay. Your heroes won't benefit as much.
They don't see me, right?
We can see. It looked like they might have to me, but it was really close, for sure.
I was sure they cannot see me there.
Okay, well, they had a ward, so it's, like, hard to tell. But it looks like they can't see you, like, the creeps don't see you here, but the ward does, so...
So...
If they didn't have a ward, it would have been okay.
Okay, I just want to mention it, second big play.
Okay, very good. Let's watch. Oh, you go behind the tower. Okay, yeah, this is a great nighttime move. Okay, yeah, so you waited patiently for Invoker to walk up. Invoker knows that you guys are doing this too, so this is good. Okay.
But that's really close.
Yeah, no, that was great. I think like he would have lived if he just had a point in Wex. I don't know why he doesn't, but yeah, it's okay.
So
no, that was a good play.
I always need dust when I want to.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. It's less common for Exort Invokers to get a point in Wex, but I think the really good ones will in almost every instance, with the exception of like in competitive games or whatever. But yeah, in pubs, most Invokers will get a point in Wex, so they can Ghost Walk. So you should definitely come with detection, I think. It's just so worth the investment. Yeah, no, it is hard, but like consider like how annoying it would be to gank an Invoker, like spend all this time smoking, running up here, sitting behind tower, and then you just don't get the kill because you don't have detection. So
yeah, okay.
I think that's important. All right.
Yeah.
So we're at an hour. Why don't we jump to the next replay and we can go over that one really quick, and then do like any last questions you have.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you have something specific you want to talk about in this one, and that's fine too.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
So, but what kind of item I should have bought against them? I decided to go for a...
Okay, let me look at the heroes again really quick.
Because I feel like my Solar Crest wasn't the best idea. Because they only have one right clicker.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure. So, power treads are also not good, aren't they? Should I maybe go for mana boots?
Well, treads are okay. They give you a lot of HP, which is nice. Like, you'll see a lot of supports in competitive play go treads on Venge. And
yeah,
I think this is fine.
Like, I need to switch them, and the Magic Wand and treads are good for that?
Yeah, I think it's okay. Okay. I think you do need a little bit more HP, though, because they have, like, Ancient Apparition, Nyx, Invoker. Like, they just have a ton of heroes that are scary.
So,
I think,
not drums.
No, I think just an Urn would have been okay. Like, you don't have a hero who bought Urn that I can see, and that would have been totally fine. Like, Urn is my go-to item on supports, just because it's very versatile. Gives you mana regen, HP. It's quite good.
Morphing told me I should have gone for... Morphing was the 6k? Oh, no, 5.8.
Okay.
And he said I should go for the... Etherlands?
Oh yeah, Aetherlands would have been okay too. That would like give you a little bit more offensive capabilities in addition to like being able to swap easier. My first instinct was saying Glimmer Cape just because it's good against like Disruptor, Ancient Apparition, Invoker, Nyx, like all of these nuking heroes, and it's even good against Slark as a defensive item. Like he has to buy Dust, That would be okay.
It's one more slot, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So Glimmer would have been okay. I think Aether Lens or Glimmer are both good.
Okay. And Ether Lens, should I went then from Mana Boots to Ether Lens or Power Threads and then Ether Lens straight up?
I think it depends on how rich you are. If you're very rich, then you can go Treads. If you're like struggling to find money, then you can go Arcanes into Aether Lens. That would be okay. I do think Urn is a good choice in that game, though, for sure. 3-gen is quite nice. Okay, so... is this the correct replay? I don't see you on this one.
Road to... It was just my Smurf account.
Oh, okay, okay.
4.3.
Okay.
But I also boosted 2 friends, so they are not as good as they are with the MMR there.
Okay, very good. That's fine. Alright, so you were Antimage.
Maybe not as good as. So in this game, it's just I just want to have. I also have seen the last Antimage replay from you. Not replay, analysis.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just want to know how I can be more efficient in terms of farming.
Okay. So do you mean like when you have Battle Fury, like at that point?
Yeah, I think in the beginning it was quite okay.
Okay.
I just need some farm advices.
So let's skip through and see how this goes. Okay. So we're Antimage, start off pretty well. You win against Invoker, super easy lane. I'm not even gonna bother watching this. I know you're gonna do like fairly well early on. So let's just skip to like.
I had a really good start, and my whole team had a really good start.
Yeah, you have 65 CS at 12 minutes. It's not bad at all.
But
okay.
it's not so optimal, but. Yeah, but later on I was so fucking farmed, and yeah, my Templar strode the game a little bit, and finally we lost.
Yeah, typically like if you have a start like this on Antimage, you can carry the game almost no matter what, unless they have like 5 counters on the enemy team and they execute like perfectly. In pubs though, there's pretty much no excuse for being able to carry a game with this kind of start. One thing that I can only see if I watch the early game, which like we don't really have time for, is like I want to know if you pushed out this wave and then went to the jungle immediately and cleared these 2 camps before the next wave came, and then just kept doing the same thing. That's very important.
I cannot tank them as long as I don't have 8 tangos and.
Yeah, no, this is when you get like a Perseverance, PMS, and like a Clawing Blade and Treads. Like basically the timing. Well, actually, you can get it with Ring of Health as well. Like Ring of Health, PMS, Clawing Blade, Treads, and then you start doing these camps.
So you would recommend always go for a PMS on Antimage, or in mostly of situations?
99.9% of cases, yeah, because it helps you jungle. Yeah, for sure. Because like just it adds up so much when you're doing these camps. Like, and this is how you should be playing, in my opinion. If you have a free lane, there's no excuse for you not to, because you can push out the wave like fairly quickly with Treads, and then you can go to jungle and just be back in time for the next wave. And I think that's really important. But you do need some kind of regen to do this with like Ring of Health or something. So, yeah. So this matters quite a bit. You would have been pretty farmed if you did this. I mean, you're pretty farmed now. Like 76 TS at 13 minutes isn't bad, but you would be more farmed guaranteed if you had done that.
Okay.
So that's pretty big, but still, you're gonna have a pretty decent Battle Fury timing. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like you get it. At 15 or 15, 14, whatever it is, 14 minutes anyway, which is really fast. Like Treads Battle Fury at this time is good, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people also call me the second German Black.
Oh Jesus! All right. Is that your friends? All right.
No, I'm just joking, but
okay.
I like him a lot. And yeah, I would say he can play better than me, but I'm almost the same skill bracket.
I think he is 7k, so he's much better.
I'm just joking.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I learned a lot from him in terms of Antimage.
Okay. Yeah, no, he's definitely like a really good person to watch in terms of farming efficiency. I do recommend watching RTZ though. I think he is like one of the best Antimage players, if not the best.
Okay.
Like he is really good at pushing waves and cutting creep waves, like at very early on, and this like puts pressure on the enemy team. Like, I think he is good at farming efficiently, but he's also really good at just, like, pressuring the enemy team while he's doing it on a hero that, like, if you just have a Battle Fury on Antimage, nobody cares about you. Like, you're not going to pressure anyone. But he manages to find ways to do this through, like, just randomly cutting creep waves mid or, like, bottom or whatever, pressuring towers.
Okay.
So I recommend watching him a little bit. But Black is good, too. Black is just, like, much safer than Artesius. Okay. So,
but again, against these heroes, I was really scared because of
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's 3 counters or not? Yeah, sure. No. So maybe Phantom Assassin not, but 2 counters. It's really hard. It's
Yeah.
Against
No, for sure. For sure. In this game, you just kind of have to like position around those heroes, and like maybe if you see one hero on the map, you can like go top and then bait the other 2 to chase you, and then maybe the other one will TP top as well, and then you can go bottom. Like you just have to play like the cat and mouse game, and just like kind of make them chase you around the map. It's really tough, and it's like something that people could analyze for hours, days, weeks, whatever, and like still never find the optimal playstyle. But the cat and mouse kind of thing is a good way to approach it. I think you're a good enough player to do this, or like start learning how to do it. That's big. Okay. So also typically, if you get Manta, you're pretty safe, unless Legion has a Shadow Blade or something, which I think she goes Blink. Yeah, she goes Blink. So if she blinks on you, you can always just reactively Manta, or if you see Lion blink, you can Manta as well. It's pretty tough, but I think that's an okay option. Okay. So we are running out of time, but generally, like, if you have the opportunity to, you should always go farming the enemy jungle as Antimage. Only when it's safe, though, obviously. Like, it's okay to do this, in the laning phase, like these things here. But generally, when you get Battle Fury, it's a good idea to switch on, like, your aggressive farming kind of thing. Like, a lot of people will just sit in their jungle and farm this and be like wonder why they lost. And it's because they're not pressuring any lanes. Whereas, like, if you're pushing out waves and maybe you're farming slightly more slowly, you're still pressuring the enemy team, and you're like a hero in Dota. Whereas, like, a lot of people will just farm their jungle camps and they won't be contributing to the game at all. Like, maybe they lose top towers, maybe they lose mid towers or bottom towers, and they're farming and they're getting a lot of golden XP, but they're not pressuring. And this like really applies to 5k and above. I think is when you need to start learning how to pressure on heroes that can't really pressure that well. I think AM is a hero that can pressure very well, but only in the form of like map pressure, like pushing. So I think if you want something to focus on Antimage, that's definitely what you should focus on. Okay.
But I should, even at the 20-minute mark, I should go in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, I think so.
Hope that they don't catch me.
Well, no, you have to be smart about it, right? Like, you can't just randomly decide to go. Like,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. If they're being aggressive, though, like maybe, like let's say they're sieging your tier 1 top tower, you could be farming mid and like go cut the creep wave top. If they're pressuring this tower, like you could do something like that, like if the timing works out for it. Or alternatively, you could push bottom and like do these camps, and this is fine as well. Or like let's say they're pushing bottom, you could be pushing out top wave, and going in here and farming this, and maybe cut a creep wave mid, something like that. Like
and after the cut, TP out or go again in the jungle.
It just depends on like how the timing works out. Yeah. Yeah, it's too specific, I think. Like, if they're showing bottom 5 heroes, then you don't have to TP, obviously. You can just go, like, maybe you can even go for a more aggressive creep cut and, like, cut this wave as well. Something like that. But really, it just depends on the timing, like, when neutrals are going to respawn, when the waves are going to spawn, etc. Okay, so those are the big things. Not the most helpful, but...
in the future, I will go for PMS.
Yeah, I think that will help a lot. Also, like... I kind of like getting Ring of Regen as well, like getting Ring of Regen plus Ring of Health plus PMS. Well, It depends. I usually go like Treads if I'm doing very well and I'm not getting harassed. Ring of Health if I'm getting harassed quite a bit, and then PMS and get everything else. But I do like the Ring of Regen before I complete Battle Fury. I feel like the extra regen actually like helps quite a bit for the amount of gold you spend.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a personal preference thing. That's what Envy does as well, and what Arteezy and Ritsu do.
Big plays coming out here.
Blink in the trees, good stuff.
All right.
Okay. So, do you have any like final questions?
No, I think it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Last question: how did you reach like 4,000 more points in the last fucking 2 weeks in Dota coach?
Dota coach. Well,
I also coach a lot, and I used to be one place ahead of you, and suddenly you are like 4,000 points ahead of me. I don't know how to. It means you have students with 8 hours of coaching? No.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. Is I got a lot of reputation from that.
Shit.
Like the dedicated students thing helps quite a bit, for sure.
So I will do my best to give you now a 1-star.
Alright, please don't. But I mean, if you think it was bad, then you have every right to do that. But I prefer. Okay, yeah. I mean, I do try really hard to like give you the best info. So.
No. I honestly, I would like to do it, but no, I would be a really bad student then. So. That
would be rough. Okay.
No. How to say? No worries.
Yeah. Yeah. No worries is a very common expression.
Full 5 stars. It's alright.
Okay.
I think I will book you again in a few weeks maybe, and I will try to improve my gameplay now.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. No problems.
And have a good day.
All right. You too. If you have any questions later on, feel free to Skype me. That's totally cool.
Okay. Thank you, Echo. Have a good one.
Okay. Peace. Good luck.